A pair of romances that kinda don't make sense.
Ooh, Yaoi review.
Hi everybody, it's Corbin, and today I'm here to talk to you about Spring Fever by Yugi Yamada. We shall read the back and delve into the nitty-gritty. Timeless love. Yuzuki Onishi easily gets crushes on everybody and anybody, but never succeeds in love. That is until the day he meets and falls in love with his new neighbor, a mature single parent. Yuzuki has finally met his match, but his match just happens to be a guy. This is a classic Oyoji Uki, a passive older guy story of an unexpected love between two people, one younger and one older. Also included is a bonus story, Wild Blues, the story of two childhood friends who become reunited and then become passionate lovers. Two torrid tales of yaoi passion from Yugi Yamada, the creator of Picnic and Close the Last Door. Comes two complete yaoi love stories. Enjoy the yaoi. This is published by Duex Press. It is rated 18+, and it's 18, so yeah. Let's talk about art style. This is actually my least favorite art style in... It's just, I hate this style. The limbs are overly elongated, the eyes are really big, the lips are really overly exaggerated. It's not my favorite to look at. But, if I'm basing that just solely off the cover, the inside isn't bad. You adapt to it relatively quickly. It then becomes a little more of a dated 80s looking style. It's pleasant to look at, it's fun to look at, but it's not as refined as the newer yaois, so it's just not my favorite. It has not aged well, in my opinion. But it's not bad. It's just not my favorite. Storyline-wise, it says that the bonus story is only a bonus story, but when your bonus story is half the yaoi, it's just a separate story. So I will go ahead and tell you the first story. It has a really weird, abrupt ending that makes no sense. The neighbors, there is one neighbor who's a single dad, the other neighbor who lives at a school because his mother runs a penmanship school, a calligraphy school, where she teaches kids to write with better penmanship, and her son works there. Well, it progresses into this kind of really weird, I'm obsessed with you stalker kind of moment. We find out that the neighbors had an affair with his brother-in-law, and the brother-in-law is just really weirdly obsessed with the neighbor. And then on the day of his wife's memorial, after him and the boy who's going to be, who works at the calligraphy school, he just vanishes for 6 years. And then reappears, and both of them kiss on the street, and that's the end of it. I mean, that was such an abrupt end, and I'm really not kidding with you. That's how it ended. He vanishes for 6 years, then reappears with his son in tow. They kiss. That's the end of it. It's really weird. I don't know what to think about it. I was just like, oh, okay, maybe there's more. And no, that was by the author considered a great ending for that story. I would have liked a little bit more, something to explain what happened or where he was for so long. But it is what it is. The next story is about two friends from junior high that had just moved on to high school. One is older and was in high school a year before the other, and is openly gay. The openly gay one and the boy who is straight, he proceeds to go on this journey of hating one another. And then we find out why. We find out that I don't want to call him gay boy, but the homosexual male, he was being, we'll say, having very rough gay sex with a classmate, and it would lead to, like, bruises and ribs being hurt, and it was not a very positive relationship, but it was one that was mutually understood between the two it was involved with. And the neighbor boy had no clue about this relationship until one day he sat outside the bedroom door crying because he thought the guy was trying to kill him, and then he proceeds after that to check on his friend who he thinks has been murdered and beaten, and finds out that his friend and the guy had sex, and his homosexual friend then proceeds to forcibly touch him in ways that was very inappropriate. That ended their friendship until, I guess, they're both at a high school. They're way older, and they proceed to become lovers. I mean, honestly, the second story was better than the first. It felt like it had a full beginning, middle, and end. It gave us a lot of explanations, and it had character development. It was interesting. So I did like this for the most part. If we were to flip it, I wouldn't have had the title story as the Spring Fever. I would have had the title story as whatever the bonus, the Wild Blues. That would have been my main story. It was very oddly romantic and oddly cynical. I really liked it. As far as having to have this in your collection, I wouldn't say it's necessary. I wouldn't even... I mean, if you read it online, it's not going to hurt you, but maybe you'll like it more than I did. I just didn't care. So, yeah, it's very, 2 stars out of 5. It's not very good. It's not awful. It's just not my favorite. So if you guys have read this before, let me know down in the comment section below. Shoot me a like, a favorite, subscribe, share this with a friend who likes Yaoi, and I'll talk to you guys later.
You like what you see? Then...
subscribe!